Today, we're going to address the insanely high, believe it or not, over 90% failure rate in the life insurance industry and how to avoid that, how to get the best leads, the best carriers, and the importance of having access to multiple insurance carrier products, what are normal commission levels and what is, in my opinion, an unethically low commission level, why you want to avoid multi-level marketing insurance agencies if you want to concentrate on becoming a top producer, and how and why I was able to make over $200,000 in net profit during my very first calendar year as a final expense insurance agent. And I'm going to start by stating that a lot of my so-called competitors are so full of you know what and so manipulative that they should absolutely be in prison due to some of the harm that they're doing to some of the agents that they work with. First, I'd like to ask for a thumbs up and invite you to subscribe if you're a new viewer. We're putting out new insurance sales content like every week, and at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of my telesales objections and rebuttals cheat sheet along with a copy of a remote final expense telesales presentation. As you may or may not know, most new insurance agents that get recruited into selling life insurance actually fail their first time around. I hate to say it, but that's kind of typical. There are a few reasons that we're seeing an abnormally high success rate at my agency though. Over half of the agents who I train that actually do what we teach and who get to the point where they're making, I want to say at least 8 to 10 presentations per day, succeed like 90% of the time. My only conclusion for why some of these agents have issues is that, well, they either don't do exactly what we teach them, maybe aren't able to grasp the basics of sales, or they just don't have the work ethic and are trying to cut corners. In all reality, I'm pretty sure that the struggling agents are doing like a combination of all of that, not following directions and just, well, not putting in the time it takes to be prepared, or maybe they're just trying to do things their own way and not actually following the training, which literally only happens with people who don't have the skill set to be able to influence people and overcome basic, common, simple objections. By getting in just a few, like 3 to 5 final expense telepresentations in a day, it just isn't that much. And with so few presentations, it takes like forever to cut through the learning curve, and pretty much is why so many agents give up after a week or two, pretty much everywhere with every agency. So common sense dictates that if you're not making many presentations and are actually struggling through the learning process 2 or maybe 3 weeks after you start, you're basically already on your way out. I mean, it's hard to justify hanging in there when you're just struggling and simply don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Consider this. If you're not making multiple sales per week, like right from the start, you're not going to be able to justify spending the money to stay in the business. I mean, it takes money to keep going, right? Even if it's like 100% due to your own hard-headedness. The best way to get in a lot of presentations is to have a lot of people booking appointments on your calendar every day, along with a lot of leads to call in between the appointments. And it's kind of the same as it was for me face-to-face. I used to use an appointment setter, and so I'd be booked up and then door knock the leads that wouldn't take the appointment or that we couldn't get on the phone between those appointments. And at the end of the day, it's what a good system should be doing for you. Now, keep in mind, even with, let's say, 20 to 30 booked appointments per day, at least half of these folks aren't going to show up. I mean, they're going to get buyer's remorse before they even get the quote, which is why we add in like an additional 100 plus exclusive leads per week from people that don't actually make the second step to book the appointment. We throw them in a speed dialing software, and now you've got a lot of people to speak with, which means more presentations and more sales, and voila, success, baby. So let's talk a little bit about what works and what doesn't work as far as financial investment into your final expense telesales insurance business. A major fail for most final expense tele agents is the lack of funds invested into their business. If you think you're going to earn 6 figures by spending like a few $100s on leads each week, well, you're either on your own little planet or are being manipulated by a desperate upline and or multi-level marketing insurance agency. It is pertinent that you have no problem with investing at least $1,000 per week into your advertising budget. Yes, that's right. That way you can keep the appointments coming in and the lead flow high enough to help guarantee your success. Guys, this is exactly what it takes and what works, and is why my agency was able to take a very small group of final expense agents and turn them into a group of top producing high income earners. And don't take me wrong, guys, it also takes hard work, persistence, a no nonsense attitude, and dedication to make the kind of living that, our top agents are making. And at the end of the day, it usually comes down to work ethic again, right? I know it's repeating. Agents that spend the entire workday working, constantly doing activities, mainly being on the phone dialing, are the exact agents that are making multiple sales every single day. And in most cases, it's more about the willingness to commit to your business than anything. Calling leads, then doing something else around the house, to going back to calling leads, then back to doing something else. Guys, that just doesn't work. And that's what most agents do, believe it or not. As far as what I found works best, and we're talking years and years of experience working with and training insurance agents during your work days and hours, you want to be either on the phone calling leads and appointments or on the phone making presentations. It always comes down to the level of activity that you're doing. Having access to training, a solid platform, the right carriers, having the right insurance products, and having access to somebody who's successful in our industry for help with like underwriting and daily support is imperative for success, and to me it's a must for most. Being stuck on your own little island, just trying to figure out all by yourself, and in most cases, again, it just doesn't even come close to working. So what about the carriers and commission levels? Is this important? Well, guys, in my opinion, having at least 100% first-year commission levels for your main level products to start with is absolutely 100% necessary if, again, you're an independent insurance agent who is fiscally responsible, financially responsible for generating or purchasing your own leads. What never works, it just doesn't work, is when you contract under a multi-level marketing insurance agency that starts you with those below 100% commission levels for their main product. Hey, if you would like to drink the Kool-Aid, hey, that's up to you. But let me assure you, there is nothing worse than being contracted under an MLM insurance agency only to realize that you don't want to be there. Then you find out later that you were manipulated or maybe even flat out lied to, and that they're not even going to release your contracts when you ask. And now you're stuck. And having the top carriers under an insurance agency that you want absolutely nothing to do with and or are feeling like now you're just a hostage. If you're lucky, okay, some of these guys will release you. Only they might give you something to sign. Beware, that may be potentially unethical and potentially bad for you and your new upline. Guys, I've been doing this a long time. There's one big MLM, they're probably the biggest. I've seen release agreements from these guys that I would never sign in a million years. Non-compete type of nonsense. Think about it. What's the value of having your carrier contract released to you if you can't sell the product that they have? Doesn't make any sense. And now you're stuck and have to go months without writing maybe your favorite carrier or carriers because you didn't do the research, and you end up contracting with some shady outfit that's all about building a downline instead of investing into your training and your individual success. Here's your pro tip of the day. When an agency tells you that they are going to put you at their 100% commission level, ask to see a copy of the carrier's commission schedule before signing anything. Actually, you should see that no matter what they tell you. Always see your commission levels in black and white before you sign anything. With some companies, their 100% commission level will actually turn out to be first year commissions of around 75% for their main products, whether it's final expense or term life or universal life. To me, this is unethically low if you're actually spending money, again, on your own leads or leads generating system. In closing, the reason that I was able to have huge success in my first year as a final expense agent was because, one, I invested into my business and spent the necessary money to keep me super busy and productive. And two, I worked my butt off and I put in the time, made the calls, did the door knocking, traveled where the leads were, even outside of state sometimes, stayed in some hotels that I wish I hadn't have, and at the end of the day, I just didn't quit when things got tough. For a copy of the telesales objections and rebuttals cheat sheet, along with the telesales presentation that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on selling final expense over the phone, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there and do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.